Thanks for the follow, just useless nobody. um, I'm just getting ready for this. I'm just getting a little set up for the stream. So it'll be a second before um I'm on, but we're here. I'm here. You're here. Everybody's here. Some people are here. Uh, so yeah, just give me a second. I'll just getting stuff set up. But hey, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are doing super well. Today's gonna be a little interesting, and well, it might not be super interesting. What I mean to say is that we're gonna be doing stuff a little bit differently today. I feel like I say that like every stream. I feel like we always are doing something different. Oh, it's probably because it's true, but I really want to. I want this to be more of a discussion stream. So we're not going to be doing anything too crazy. We're not going to be playing video games. We're not going to be exactly doing art. I really want your guys' opinion on a couple projects, or this one main project that I have tonight. And I was just really hoping that I could get some feedback, because I have this really crazy idea that I would love to do, and I just want to see if you guys think it's realistic or not. So we're going to be discussing an idea that I've had for a while, and I kind of just want your guys' opinion on it, and we're going to work stuff out. We're going to talk about things. It's going to be really chill. It's not going to be super big deal or anything. We're just going to be talking about stuff that, you know, we like to see or we like to watch. And I might pull up a specific game for a specific purpose, but until then, welcome to the stream. Hey, how you doing? It's me, Patchet. I just like streaming. I like having Patches just on the screen. He's cute, makes me feel good. You guys can't see anything though. Give me a second while I figure that out. Ooh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, what I really want your guys' help with is this idea that I've had for a while. It's called Patches in Space, and I really just kind of want to talk through what my plans are. I kind of just want to talk through what I'm thinking for it. I kind of want to talk through what needs to happen for it to exist, and I think it would be really fun to talk about. So we're gonna jump in here. Just start. I have a canvas. I have like an art canvas open. It's not really. We're not gonna be drawing much. We're just gonna be like looking at ideas, I think. And this is pretty much gonna be me talking through a couple things. And the reason we're doing this instead of something more, I mean, this is pretty heckin' creative, but the reason we're doing this instead of something else is because I will not be streaming on Thursday, so I didn't really, and I'm going to be busy this weekend, so I didn't really want to start something that that I wasn't going to be able to finish or come back to later with my brain still thinking about it. So with all that being said, let's just do something. Just trying to, yeah. Yeah. By the way, let me know if the music is okay and my voice is okay. Just let me know all that good stuff. I always ask that. Yeah, so let me break it down for you guys. Let me break it down for you. So I was talking with a friend about this idea. And speaking of friend, there he is. Hey Bracket, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you here. So we're gonna be talking about this idea that I've had for a while, and it's going to be super challenging and pretty much insane if I decide to actually carry through with it and figure out how to make it a reality. But I really, that's what you guys are here for. I really want you guys' input on this. I want to see your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings, your vibes. Give me all of that stuff. So you figure out like a good brush to start writing. And again, it's not going to be super artistic, super drawing or anything like that. I just really want to break it down and figure out, excuse me, the details of this idea. You figure out a good brush size and then be on our way. Okay. So this is the overarching idea. It's very simple. You have Patches. For those of you who don't know, Patches is my little character, my little Pine Marten character down there. I like to represent myself as him sometimes. And I just really like he's cute and I like his character, and I like to say that I'm a storyteller at heart. So whenever there's a character, whenever I have like a new character or something, I'm always asking myself, what is the story? What's the story behind this character? So for Patches originally, and this still might be the case because there are no rules. I can do whatever I want. He's my character, so whatever. But originally, Patches was going to be like a knight in the medieval era. And so he was going to be, you could see him with a sword and protecting people. He might be like a mercenary. He gets paid to like assassinate other people. Who knows? Just that was the vague idea. But lately I've been really into sci-fi and space travel and stuff like that. So I was like kind of thinking, just playing around with this idea in my head, and I was like, what if Patches was in space? And it's a very vague idea. I'm not going to say that's amazing or anything like that. It's a very vague idea. It doesn't elicit a lot of emotion, but I had this idea and I wanted to go with it. So I imagined a couple things. I imagined there was this academy. And at the academy, they learn essentially space flight, how to fly a spaceship. Yeah, imagine in this time, imagine that the setting of the story is like in the far-flung future where space travel is pretty common. So I imagine that Patches, as a character in this world, studies at this academy. That's what I'm imagining. In the academy, they learn about space. They learn about, I'll say, space flight. They learn about math because you need to know math to be able to do a lot of this stuff. To be an engineer and stuff like that. They learn engineering. And this is just like the vague general vibe I get of this academy place. It's a place for education, right? So spaceflight, math, engineering, education, all this stuff is where they learn at the academy. And I imagined that because you can math, let's go. Yeah. We're not going to be focusing on that. That's the stuff. As a writer, you can pretend to know stuff, and math is one of those things that I'm definitely going to pretend to know. At least enough. I'll know enough to make it make sense for the story, but you know how it is. Okay, so, and because you can get really crazy with sci-fi stuff, you can take sci-fi to so many different directions. You can have it be about like corrupted space organizations, which this might be about. You can have it be super, super explorative, like you're going on a journey and doing that kind of thing. So kind of like Star Trek and Star Wars is kind of like that. Um, but I really wanted to focus on like the personal aspect. I like to zoom in when I'm writing stories about characters. I like to really flesh out the characters and make the emotions the kind of like centerpiece of the of the story. And they can be affected. The character can be affected by all different types of things that will end up being in the story. But as a good rule that I like to make for myself is that um, character is always the most important. So we have character as a centerpiece. We have academy. We have the academy. We have the character. Um, and here, this I guess is kind of like a writing workshop a little bit. I'm giving myself and you guys like a little writing workshop on how I think about these things. This was not the original plan for the stream. The original plan for the stream was going to be making a song, but all of my music stuff is on my MacBook, and it was a lot to set up because of I have so many like peripheral USB devices, and MacBooks only have like, at least the one I have only has like 2 USB ports on it. I'm like, this is gonna take a long time to figure out, and I just don't have the patience to do it right now. And then I was like, oh, well, what if I play like a video game? So I tried recording Overwatch and like seeing how the recording would be. And if you record the stream, you can kind of see how the stream will be, and it just got really blurry and pixelated because my computer can't handle the high intensity graphics. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And instead, what I wanted to do is continue down the creative line that I've been searching for and really enjoying and trying, and I wanted to just figure out this this outline for us. And the image of this, the finalized image of this idea I have in my head is so nice. And so I'm just doing the legwork of breaking it down into what we need and what the story will be. So we have academy, the character, emotions. I'm also gonna say that I want this to be a multimedia thing. And I almost want it to be episodic. Is that what you're doing in the study hall VC today? I tried to sneak up on you before realizing the room was locked. Yeah, I have it locked for right now just because I don't really know what I don't really know exactly what to use it for, and I'm afraid of random people joining and like being chaotic. So that's why it's locked. But yeah, that's what I was doing. I was trying to figure out what to do. It would have been hilarious if you joined. I would have been like, Bracket, what are you doing here? So yeah, so some of these are details about the story, and then some of these are actually like zoomed out a little more, and I want like how I want the story to be portrayed. Like if I was, what the phrase that came to mind when I was like preparing for the stream was like, I am going to try to sell you or to pitch you this idea that I have for this possible series that I would love to do. So the first two things, like with the academy and the character, what the story is going to be about. The multimedia and the episodic parts are more like what I want, how I want to kind of like tell the story, if that makes sense. So multimedia, I want there to be, I'm thinking sound design. Terrible. Sound design, I want there to be atmosphere. I want there to be art and possibly some animation. And I think it was around me getting to this idea that I think, I don't remember if it was you, Bracket. I think it was. It could have been someone else. I don't really remember. But someone at some point brought up the word machinima. And I remember hearing that on YouTube a long time ago. Like, I remember that being a word that I only heard in that instance years and years and years ago. And I never knew what it meant. I just didn't know. And someone brought it up when I was talking about this, and I was like, maybe I should look into that word, see what it means, see if it applies to what I'm doing here. And I think the definition I found on Google was like a way of storytelling that involves the same type of computer graphics that video game designers use, something like that. And I was like, well, that's not quite exactly what I'm trying to do. But in a way, there is a possibility of using some video game stuff to emphasize the story. Not you mentioned animation, but not making machinima. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't remember who it was. Yeah. And I might get into that. I might get into that specific detail a little later on in the stream. There's a specific game that I was playing just a little bit ago because I also was like, maybe I could stream this. And this game, it's called Elite Dangerous. It's a space game, like a sci-fi space flight game. And excuse me, I'm not super familiar with it. I've only played it a handful of times, and I don't really know what there is to do in the game. But whenever I'm in the game, there are certain things about it that just make me go like, wow. Like, the beauty of space is absolutely like phenomenal and insane. And there are a few space games that do that. Like No Man's Sky, I'm a little bit more familiar with. And there are a couple things about that game that I like. But the atmosphere, the sound effects, the sound design, all of the sound and visual stuff of Elite Dangerous is what brings this idea so much life. So what I thought, and I don't know, this is where you guys come in, because I don't know this realm, but I was thinking, here, I'm gonna write Elite Dangerous down just because it's part of my mind. It's part of my idea. As a game, I was wondering how you guys felt about using like picture this, right? Picture this. Just imagine your basic. Maybe it would help. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this to you guys. If you guys have ever played a visual novel game, you know, okay, this is the point in the stream where I'm gonna draw. So let me open up a new canvas here so I can show you guys. Let me just circle here real quick so I can get this color back. It's a nice color. And then let me go here. Do that. New layer. And back here. So again, this is me trying to sell you on this idea. So I'm trying to break it down into smaller parts so I can visualize it better, and so you guys can have a better a better idea of what I'm trying to go for. So what I want is to be able to, through video form, essentially, and by video I mean like upload this to YouTube or something like that, and have it be kind of like a narrated story that uses bits and pieces from other media to make it come to life, and not all of it. So what I'm imagining, here's what I'm imagining. If you click on, like, if this was a YouTube video and you clicked on it, I'm imagining that there is kind of like a ship's HUD here, right? With controls, some knobs, maybe like a steering wheel, something like this. Super sci-fi-y. You have like some supports that come down here and up there. And just imagine like this, imagine like you're sitting in a spaceship, like a spaceship cockpit, right? And this is what you see. And this might not be the only the only visual, or the only perspective, I should say. It might turn, it might change. We'll see. So imagine out here, there's just stars, right? Stars. Maybe there's like a big planet over here, right? Something big over to the right or whatever. Let's fill this up with stars. Right, and then over here you have like, you have like kind of like your arms, your armchair, the arms of your armchair, the arms of your chair that you're sitting in, the little, you have your seat here. And then, some more things. Maybe like a targeting system for fights or stuff like that. Just imagine like your average ship cockpit. Just fill this in with whatever your mind desires, right? And then in the corner here, or on the other side, I haven't decided, but in the corner here, I imagined having patches, right? So imagine imagine just seeing patches like down in the corner like this, right? Something like that. And then whenever he talks, and so remember, this is like, imagine that this is like a first person perspective through Patch's perspective, and he's essentially like, you're seeing the world and his world through him, right? So I have a little bit of a script written out for what I want the first like episode to be, and I won't really talk about that because I don't want to spoil anything. But just imagine that Patches is talking about like whatever. Like he's the captain of his own ship. He is he's out alone in space, and I think the only background information that I'll give you guys is that he left the academy for a specific reason. So he's and everybody's out looking for him. He wasn't supposed to leave. He's in a lot of trouble for stealing one of their ships, but he had to just, he couldn't take it there anymore. So this is what I'm picturing in my head, right? Something like this. And yeah. So something like this is in my head. And just, this is a very, a really rough example, but imagine this with really good detailed art to it. And let me tell you guys, this is something that I would spend a very long time trying to get as good as I can. Like, I don't know if anybody was here for my streams last week when I was doing art for the illustration for my Twilight Forest project. That was something that I really just wanted to get done, and more just wanted to like practice art. This, what I'm explaining to you guys now, is something that I would go like 100 yards for. Like the whole football field, I would go absolutely as hard as I can for this project. That's how much life it's giving me. That's how excited I am. And right now I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to like do the legwork and figure out exactly how to make this come to life. So let me patch this back. There we go. Okay. So take that, imagine that in your head. Just take this image in front of you. Just take this image and just imagine that, right? Imagine that. A dang long-term project. Yeah. Exactly. So what I was saying earlier was I didn't want to start something that I couldn't finish in a relatively short amount of time. So this is something that's going to take a long time to finish or produce, or however I decide to go along with it. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I am really excited for it. And the thing I think I need to get done before anything else is the script. I think I need to figure out essentially a script for every episode. Or at least a solid plot line to go from, beginning to end, right? and at the very least to figure out that, but for the first episode. Because if I can get like one episode done, I'm gonna consider that a success. Like no matter what happens after that, I'm going to consider that getting one episode done will be my success in this particular instance. I would absolutely love to see this become a full-fledged thing. I'm so excited, and I think that if I do it right, I think it will be very fun, very interesting, and I have a lot of hopes for it. But that's why we're here. We have to figure out how to break it down into easier parts so that it can be a reality. So I want you to take this. I want you guys to take this and remember this in your head. This is kind of like this is kind of the visual I'm going for. Exactly, the pilot episode. Excuse me. And now we're gonna go back to this, and we're gonna try to figure out more of what I'm talking about. So let me see how should I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna do this on another canvas too. So give me 1 second. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm curious if you guys, based on how I'm expressing this idea, based on how I'm telling this, I'm curious if you guys think this would be better as like a YouTube video series or as a stream. As a possible stream, because either of those are possibilities that I have been considering. And I did not. There we go. Okay. Because both of those ideas have been ideas that I've been considering. And it doesn't have to be either or, but I'm curious on what you guys think would be better. And maybe we'll figure that out later on in the stream when I show you guys the game that I'm thinking of. And maybe that'll change your guys' mind. But for now, just based on what I've been telling you, I'm curious on let's break it down like this. Let's do kind of like a pros and cons. So YT series or stream. Because part of this is also I want to make this enjoyable for you guys, because I imagine that I'll be streaming stuff like this quite often, but at the same time, or the creation of this quite often. But at the same time, I'm very curious on what you guys think of, if this were to be a stream, would you guys want it to be like an actively going stream series that like every month it would be like a new episode of Patches in Space? A new live episode, I should say. Because I have thought a lot about this, and I feel like it's possible to do all this live. I'm not going to say it's easy, but bit confused. Are you saying that you're going to use game footage as your sets and overlaying stuff? No. Yeah, I'm going to try to stitch together what I'm trying to express. So give me a second while I think. Going to use game footage as your sets, then overlaying stuff on them, or like fully redraw them. Okay, let me stitch some stuff together for you guys. Give me 1 second while I open up another. So the screen's gonna go black for a second. Don't worry, I'm still here. Yeah, fear not, I'm still here. Give me 1 second while I switch programs. Just worried that there's something on my screen that I shouldn't be showing. So give me 1 sec. Sorry if that was loud. I thought I already installed this. Why is it? Okay, it's doing it again, I guess. It's dark. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. So let's do, okay, so, you guys can't see. Here we go. Okay. So I just opened up this little window that allows me to bring in references. It's called PureF. Pertan, a friend of mine, brought it up to me, and I think that this might help. This might help. Let me explain what's going to happen. So let me think. Actually, you know what? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys the game because I think that will help. I think that will help explain things. It's gonna go dark again for a second. Give me a while. I really want to get this right, and I just don't know how to express it. I don't know how to like describe it to you guys. And part of that is because I don't know completely what to completely how it's gonna look and what I want it to look like. Because there are certain things about the this idea that can be done live, and if that's the case, those things have to affect other things. And I just don't know what things are okay to connect to, you know? It might get loud here for a second, so I'm warning you to maybe turn down your volume. This game gets really loud sometimes. So I hope that's okay. There we go. Okay. So this is Elite Dangerous. This is the game I was talking about. Let me just jump into a solo play real quick and let me show you guys. And while I'm showing you guys this, keep in mind everything that's happening on screen, but keep in mind the important thing about what I want you guys to listen to is the sound. I really want you guys to appreciate the sound design of this game. And that is where a lot of this idea is coming from. So I'm just gonna, this game, like I'm literally just gonna fly around. It's super pretty here too. This game is absolutely gorgeous. You know, I'm just flying. Whee! But just imagine imagine this, right? Imagine this, but imagine I'm actually like voice acting or in character, and I'm Patches, right? The premise is like I, escaped from the academy and I'm just like flying off into space. Don't know really what I'm doing. I might not have a lot of money. I might have all the money in the world. I don't know if that's going to be a restricting factor or not. And I'm just like, but this is my world, right? Like I'm telling you right now what I want it to be, but imagine Patches is like, Captain's log, day 54, blah, 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 blah. I've been running for so long now that, I don't think they can get me anymore. I don't think they care. Stuff like that. Just it maybe it's not that dramatic or intense or whatever, but just imagine that, right? So I'm gonna let the spaceship fly for a second, and just keep the sound in mind. And I'm gonna show you what the jump sounds like, because this game is really good with its sound design, and I want to know if you guys think that there is something to be that I can. Essentially, I guess what I'm asking you guys is like, do you think that there's a possibility or a way that I could use the sound design from this game in my own project that is, one, like, not a bad taste in move? Because I don't like, in my head, what would be a bad move is to use the sound and then, like, make people pay for this because it's not my sound. Like, why I don't want to make people pay for something that isn't mine. You know, I don't want to claim that any of this is mine. I just want to use assets from things that I'm already familiar with to make my own story. And the main thing that I would really like to borrow is the sound design from this game. So I'm kind of curious on like what you guys think of that. And this wouldn't be me trying to pass it off as my own either. This would be like, you know, I'd advertise, quote unquote. I'd just say in the description of the video or the stream or whatever, like, this is, you know, the sound design from this is from Elite Dangerous. Like, I wouldn't try to pass this off as my own or anything like that. I'm just curious on what you guys think. So I'm just gonna jump to this system, and I just want you guys to pay attention to the sound. Like, that's all I'm looking for right now. Okay. And I'm also curious because I'm curious if any of the idea I have can be done kind of in this game too. Like, there are so many variables here that I'm like, I don't know what I can do and what I can't do. So I might just end up doing a few different variations of this project that I'm thinking of. So this fuel scoop thing on here is actually it's a part of the ship that I had to, thankfully, just in time add to my own ship. And what it does is if you're orbiting a star, it gathers the hydrogen and turns it into fuel for your ship. And I was almost stranded as I was trying to prepare for this. I almost stranded myself in deep space because I ran out of fuel on the last jump, and I was not sure that there was a station that I could get to refuel. Just a little side tidbit, but yeah. So there's so much here, and there's so many variables that I could change, and that I just think would be really cool to have in a spaceship like series, or in a sci-fi series with Patches as the main character. Yeah, I think so far using the game in this way seems fine to me. Yeah, so I mean, so many different things that I'd like to think about. Because the version I'm thinking of is not using any part of the game that's not sound. So what you're seeing here, even I'll go dark again, so be prepared. I just imagine that you're just imagine the little doodly overlay that I drew for you guys with this sound in the background and Patches narrating over it in a story-like style. And he's describing, you know, he's giving his captain log's entries, and he's saying like, captain's log, day 1, I'm running from the academy, I just can't be there anymore, and stuff like that. And it's not just going to be like Patches alone in space. I want there to be more participation and stuff like that in the series. Where it gets tricky is like, how much of this do I want to make, and how much do I want to use the game for? Because, like I said, the sound in this game is really fun and cool and just gives so much life to everything that is like the main thing that is like the only thing that I would really borrow if I was doing this and creating this all from scratch. The music and the sound design, or the sound design mostly, would be the only thing I would really borrow. And then everything you see would be like a professionally done art overlay with effects and and other stuff like that, and like editing to put it all together, but just using the sound of the spaceship in the background. Or option number 2 is that using some form of or using the overlay and everything that you see on screen, and using Elite Dangerous as just the atmosphere, and then using sound in other ways to bring other people onto the stream or the video series to be like to participate in the story. So imagine a series, either way, either you know, pre-recorded and put on YouTube or live, and have other people, you know, other people's voices on with mine and acting this out as like from a script, for example. And I'm trying to just get your guys' visions on like what would be better to like borrow the sound from this game and to apply all of my own visual effects, editing, and stuff like that to it, or using the game as it is and only bringing like someone else on as an extra voice. Because and the reason I say that is because the game is limited. It, you know, it's a game. It has rules, it has parameters. You can't, you know, just say like, I am going to go, you know, I broke my ship, I'm gonna go get a new one. Because like in this game, at least, you have to like raise a bunch of money to do that, and it's not super easy. Or you can't just, you know, script a spaceship exploding in this game. Or maybe you can, I don't know, I'm not familiar with it. But like, there's so many different variables that you can't rely on the game to give you, because it's a game. So using the creative parts of a story that you write yourself, I think would be a lot more enjoyable for me personally, and it would give me a lot more creative freedom in how I want to tell the story. Which is why I think I'm leaning more towards... That scared the fuck out of me, oh my gosh. Ah! Anyway, but that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. So what I want is, if we, maybe I can leave this on. Just leave the sound on the background. So if I were to do this, is this too loud, by the way? Is the game too loud? I think borrowing the sound would be better because the alternative feels closer to just making a Let's Play, but with some extra story bits. You know, that's very true. I didn't think about that. That makes a lot of sense though, Bracket. Yeah, no thanks. I'm trying to figure out how to get that off. They changed how to do some of the chat functions, so give me a second. Is it just /ban? It's not letting me do it. Hold on. Wait, do you just type it in chat? How do I... I'm the streamer. Why is it not letting me do this? Hello? Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. That should be that should be thing. I don't know why it took me so long to do that. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, I don't really need this anymore because I kind of figured it out. But yeah, I think that's a very good point. Using the game, pretty much using the game as a backdrop is number one, restrictive, and number two, it does just sound like a Let's Play with more story bits, and that's not how I want it to feel at all. I definitely want the story to come out more. Excuse me. With that in mind, I think streaming it would be a little bit harder. I think it would still be possible, because you could record certain sound effects to certain buttons. I'm sure there's a way to do it. It would just take a long time to figure out, which I'm okay with if that's how we want to do this. But yeah. So let's refocus. Let's recenter here. So we have the Academy. We want the series to be multimedia / episodic. Elite Dangerous. We're gonna say atmosphere. We'll say vibe. It's kind of the same thing, but I like the word vibe. Say vibe. Episodic character emotions. Let's see, what else is there? Having guests would be really cool. We'll say guests, voice actors if they want to be. Other, content creators would be nice. Friends, just in general. And so the other part that I was really excited well, I mean, I'm excited about this whole project, and I think figuring out where the story is going to go, I think it's going to have a huge impact, because that's everything to me. That's everything. And so essentially, timeline wise, for at least the first I want to say season, because I don't know what other word to use. I imagine this is what I want. I imagine Patches leaves Academy, and then at the end I want Patches to return. That's very basic. That's a very basic plot structure. If we're taking everything out of this except for the story, we have the beginning, which is Patches leaves the Academy, and we have the end, which is Patches returns. Anything can happen during that time. And what I would like to do is fill in this space with either people or events or things that happen that change his mind and cause him to return. And that could be as wholesome or as intense or as weird as we want to go. And so the question that needs to be asked is, you know, the question you might be asking, or the question that hopefully the viewer or listener or whoever will ask themselves is like, why did Patches leave in the first place? And that's kind of the overarching question, actually. I'm realizing just now how like completely weird this all looks. This is why we're doing this. It's because I need to like get my thoughts in order, because I'll immediately jump from like the story to the visuals to the sound to the editing. Like my mind will just keep jumping around, and it just goes crazy. What the heck was that? Hold on, I have to jump back into. Oh, it's the fuel scoop again. Okay. I guess the fuel scoop has a mind of its own. This is a really weird stream, so I'm kind of enjoying this. Yeah, I'm actually gonna, I think I'm gonna exit this. Just so it's not distracting, scaring me in the background. But yeah. I don't know if any of this is making any sense. Maybe we can organize this better so it does make sense. I'm gonna open up a new thing. I'm getting it more as you explain it. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not crazy. It's like the artist in me is like just wants to draw everything, but because it's like a series and because I want there to be different scenes and different moments, like I can't draw everything. So what we'll do is we'll break this into parts. So I want to say story, I want to say visuals, we'll do sound, what other parts? There, and I'll also say editing because that's gonna be a big part, I think. This way it's not so like all over the place. Okay, so now what we're gonna do here's we'll do for the sound, we'll say Elite Dangerous. Just so we're organizing our references, so what we need and what we don't. So we have Elite Dangerous as one of the sound references. The story is definitely going to be all me. But we'll also put genres down. So obviously sci-fi. I want there to be a little bit of drama. Maybe a sprinkle of romance in there. We'll see. Sci-fi, drama, romance, definitely adventure. And I don't think for this one, I don't think for this series I want to add any like mystery. I don't think there's going to be a ton of mystery. It's just because it starts to, when you add mystery into things, it starts to be like the overarching like why, like what is happening? We need to figure this out, and suddenly your character is like destined with needing to figure out the answer. And I don't want it to be that extreme. At least not right off the bat. Visuals, I'm gonna go and say that we're doing lots of backgrounds. Profile. That's actually, I'll say character profiles. So say perspective, just to get perspective less in the sense that like you're using perspective to draw, and more perspective in how the characters see their world. For editing, I'm thinking actually for sound I do want to add another thing that's light comms, filters, analog buttons. I don't know. I don't know what you guys like as far as your sci-fi, your space sci-fi kind of worlds and stuff like that. Um, as I feel like a lot more futuristic stuff tends to lean towards like digital screens and touch screens and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to make it more analog. I want there to be buttons. I want there to be sounds that happen when you hit those buttons. Or like clunking sounds. I want things to feel very like real and immersive. As immersive as it can be. And like I am all for designing specific sounds and stuff like that, or just finding sound effects online and tweaking them a little bit to get them to be what I want. But I think the reason I'm having so much trouble with this is because so much of this is relying on the story, and I have a very small part of it done. And as much as I really want to tell you guys like what I have in store for it, but I like it's not done, and the part that I have done is so small compared to what I want the thing to be. But that's okay. That's okay. You feel that? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I can say. Because there's also so many different directions that this can go. I could the vibe that I'm going for as far as the story is that Patches left because life at the academy was just too much for him. Stuff was just happening around him that he couldn't really cope with. And it's not like he hated anybody, it was just getting really overwhelming. And he was tired of just like I guess playing by the rules. And so he just wanted to leave. He just wanted to get out and see the world for himself. Because I think for the current idea, the academy is a place where people are trained to fly spaceships so that they can essentially be specific, like so they can fulfill certain roles in their society. And right now there are two main spaceflight corporations, at least where in the area that Patches in the area of the universe that Patches lives. That's the Academy, which is like a shared partner of this main space corporation, and then they have kind of like a rival. And you know, it's a big corporation though, so they're trying to outcompete. They're trying to get the most money. I'm not gonna make that like a super big plot point, but it's just a little something to sprinkle in there to give a little more depth. Um, so, and what I'm thinking is that with the if I were to have, it would be really nice. I feel like it would be really nice to have other people join me in this series, in this adventure. I'm just trying to figure out like a good episodic way to get that done. So I'm thinking like maybe along the timeline of when Patches leaves the academy, tablet right in front of me. Why am I not using the pen? So between when Patches leaves the academy and when Patches returns, there has to be some sort of shift in Patches' mindset. Like he has to either realize something or get over something to come back. And coming back has to be, well, I mean, that's the end of, I've since this idea has like popped in my head, he has always, the beginning of the story has always he's left, and the end, at least for the first series, it's always he comes back. That doesn't mean he stays, that just means he comes back at some point towards the end. And it would be the idea I have for the guests, at least, are, it would be nice if they taught him things about the world or the universe that gave him kind of like a new perspective on it. So let's say guests teach him and they slowly change his mind. Something like that. The guests teach Patches about things about the universe, and over time, they change his mind, and cause him to return to the academy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not like they scare him into coming back to the academy because the academy is the only place where he feels safe. It's more like maybe life out in space is hard, and the academy is maybe not the best place, but it's certainly secure and safe, and things are taken care of there. You know, something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to like figure out like I'm trying to like compress all of these really neat ideas I have into one thing. And I want that thing to be really good. But yeah, I definitely need to figure out the story before anything else, because I have like, and I don't know how long these episodes would be. If I had like if I had more experience like figuring out how much time it takes, not how much time it takes to finish something, but how long of a writing, how long of a script it would mean to like to fill out like a full 10 minutes. And of course, like 10 minutes is a lot of work. If you're doing every single little thing for this project. So I think for now, I think I'm just going to do what I feel is right story-wise to kind of push Patches along this path. And this isn't gonna, and this has to be a thing where I figure out start to finish, at least for the first season. We're calling it the season, whatever. I have to figure out what happens beginning to end of the first season before I do any sort of extra work. And that's gonna provide a lot more detail, a lot more depth, and I think it'll help me figure out a lot of other stuff, so that way I don't get overwhelmed. But yeah, I just kind of really wanted to share this idea with you guys and see how you guys thought of it. Especially after what you said, Bracket, I definitely think that I would just use the Elite Dangerous sounds and sound design for background atmosphere because they're so good. Focus on making one scene something really small and multiply that time. By that time that takes to make that, by how many scenes you think you have. Well, see, the thing is, I think, I don't know if I mentioned it in this stream already. because so here's the thing, right? I'm almost I I really just need to make what I'm thinking and then show you guys that. And then I think after that it will have a lot more clarity. Um but yeah, like I'll do that, and you're absolutely right. I think making one scene, timing it, and then multiplying that by how many scenes is definitely like the right math to do. Um duh. Supposed to keep an eye on that. Yeah. But yeah, I really think that yeah, I really think I just need to make this show you guys. Hi Bracket, welcome back. I need to keep an I feel like I should have a timer by my I feel like I should have a timer by me so I also know what the ads are playing. But yeah, so I feel like what I really need to do is just figure out a way to express what I'm thinking, or I just need to do it. But the reason I wanted to stream this process instead of just like doing it on my own is because, well, number one, I like you guys' company. Number two, it helps me actually do the thing and not wait for it to happen. It allows me to just like kind of vomit up all my ideas onto these canvases and then like try to organize my thoughts better than just letting it float around in my head forever. Um, so I didn't really want to start this. I didn't even want to start drawing any of the scenes. I didn't want to start doing any sort of anything for this project on stream until I figured out more of how I want it organized or edited together or built or composed or whatever kind of word to get things like solidified. And I think I can't do that until I actually figure out the story. So I think in my own time, I'm going to be figuring that out because that's something that I definitely have an easier time doing by myself. But for now, that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about for today. Like I said, Thursday I'm not going to be streaming because I'm going to be busy preparing for a convention. So I will try to be back next week with some more creative stuff. While I was looking through this long list of the creative projects I have, it was really it was all artsy. It was all artsy stuff, which is no problem. I like doing art and stuff like that. It's a little frustrating, but I like doing it. But it was this was kind of the thing that really struck out to me as far as projects go, and which is kind of funny because this is something that is going to take forever. It's not going to take forever. It's going to take a long time to actually get it done. And January was supposed to be the month where I focused on music, but that didn't even really happen. It kind of happened. I showed you guys the song that I wrote, but I will try to be back next week with some more creative stuff that goes along the lines of projects that I want to do. There's still that that storyboard thing that I need to finish. I think getting back into that would be really good. So I'll try to figure out something for next week. But until then, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I know it's early, but this was, I think, pretty much exactly what I needed to do to figure out like the next step. So I don't think it was worth any less. I think this was just a different way of going about the creative process, which I love. It's so crazy. It's crazy how things get made, and I wish more people showed off their processes like this. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I won't see you guys on Thursday. I will see you guys next week, probably. I might be dead tired, but that's okay. We're gonna try to push through, and we're gonna see what we can do next week. So yeah, I'm gonna head out now. I know it's early, but this is I got what I wanted to get done, and I knew this was gonna be a shorter stream anyway. So I'm gonna head out. I'll let you guys listen to some nice lo-fi beats in the background while you guys take your leave. I wish you guys the best of weeks. And if you're gonna be at FC, I would love to say hi if you're there. I'll be there. Feel free to skip Tuesday if you think you need the rest. I might. I might skip next Tuesday. It's gonna be. I'll just have to see how it goes. Definitely a possibility there. I will say that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with some lo-fi beats. I wish you guys the best of weeks. If you're gonna be at FC, let me know. Say hi. If you see me there, I would love to talk to you. And I will see you guys next week. Keep being creative. I love seeing creative stuff that people do. And join the Discord if you want to be part of a community that also does creative stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.